A warm welcome to today's edition of Money Moves. I am Melissa Enoch here at the FMDQ studios in Lagos.
And I am Grace Agbarago. It's Tuesday, the 11th of November. We thank you for joining us at this time on the show.
Okay, then let's begin with your news now. The National Bank of Ethiopia has taken legal action against unlicensed foreign remittances to protect financial system integrity. The central bank said it has started coordinated measures with legal authorities against individuals and entities involved in unauthorized cross-border money transfers, including legal proceedings against dealers and fund providers. The NBE stressed that these actions aim to ensure foreign exchange inflows are channeled through legitimate regulated systems while promoting formal remittance flows to support economic stability and transparency. In Nigeria, the Mofi Managed Real Estate Investment Fund, a landmark initiative aimed at unlocking value from Nigeria's public real estate assets and expand access to investment opportunities, has officially listed on the Nigerian exchange today. The listing represents a major milestone in government-led efforts to deepen the capital markets and attract private sector participation in national asset development. Here are excerpts.
Right now, you have about 850,000 or so clients and going higher. The market is up about 50% this year. You do have a total capitalization of what we can call $100 billion. Very well done. You have keyed in to the reform agenda of Mr. President. You have responded. And there are two things in particular that I would like to leave you with. First is that with what we have listed today, you have made it possible at 100 naira per unit. You have made it possible for ordinary Nigerians to be able to be part of the saving and investment culture that we need for us to rely mainly on our own resources in order to grow and develop the economy. In this particular case, it's in the housing sector. By bringing a channel, which is the stock exchange, to stockbrokers, a channel that allows not just those who are extremely wealthy, but those who are ordinary Nigerians, but who have the desire to save for the future. You have made it possible for them. And the challenge is that with around 8 million pension fund savings accounts, RSAs and PFA accounts, and with less than, as we are saying, less than 1 million stockbroking accounts, there's a long way to go to make it possible for the average Nigerian to save, key into the president's reform agenda, and be able to participate in growing the economy, creating jobs, helping to lift millions of Nigerians out of poverty. That is the challenge of Mr. President. That is the challenge of Nigerians. That is your contribution to growing the Nigerian economy.
In earnings news, South African food producer Premier Group has reported a 27.9% rise in half-year profit and announced a share repurchase program ahead of its merger with RFG Holdings. The food producer posted headline earnings per share of 560 cents for the 6 months ended September 30, while operating profit rose 17% to 1.1 billion rand. Revenue grew 6.4% to 10.3 billion rand, supported by strong performance in its Millbake division. The buyback will be capped at 154 rand per share, while a once-off interim dividend of 159 cents was declared in connection with the RFG transaction. The African Forum for Talent Leadership in Finance is underway. The two-day event gathers Africa's leading CEOs, HR leaders, and policymakers to drive conversations on how talent development can power the continent's financial growth and sustainable transformation.
And it was stated that the global growth holds up, but risks are mounting. As we'll be discussing leadership, it is important that we take a look at what's going on across the world. I think we know what's going on. There's persistent trade frictions and geopolitical strains, but the global trade remains surprisingly resilient. But the question is, what does the report say? The report says that we need to explore how AI drives productivity, and that will help to offset the headwinds and reshape medium-term growth. I think that the conversation with all the brains, the agile brains that we have in the room, will definitely touch on AI. I was also looking at the Money 2020 report. I know most of you know what Money 2020 is all about. That's the world-leading premium content sales and networking platform for global money ecosystem. So they'll be talking about stable coins, stable currencies, anything to do with innovation on the payment systems. So there again, there were some clear thoughts around what's going to happen in the future. But it's basically now. They talk about agentic.
In Egypt, leading snack manufacturer Adita Food Industries has reported a 40.4% rise in third quarter revenue to 5.5 billion Egyptian pounds, with net profit nearly doubling to 659.2 million Egyptian pounds. EBITDA rose 74% to 1.1 billion Egyptian pounds, lifting the margin to 19.6%, while gross profit climbed to 57.1% to 1.9 billion Egyptian pounds. Total sales volumes reached 972 million packs, up 17.4% year-on-year, with exports contributing 544.9 million Egyptian pounds and Morocco operations 132 million Egyptian pounds. Chairman Hani Berzi said the results reflect Adita's agile business model and commitment to innovation, with new investments expected to boost production capacity by 15%. In other news, EBRD has made an additional $40 million equity investment in Infinity to support renewable energy expansion across Africa. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development said its total equity commitment to Egypt's leading renewable energy developer now stands at $141.5 million, up from $101.5 million. The new capital will help Infinity Power deliver around 3 gigawatts of solar and wind capacity in key African markets. Finally, on news now, day 2 of the Kenya Software and AI Summit 2025 is underway, bringing together developers, tech leaders, investors, and policymakers. The summit continues to explore how artificial intelligence and software innovation can drive digital transformation, economic growth, and sustainability across Africa.
Technology is moving very quickly. AI is just not about tech, it's about whole of society. It's affecting how we live, learn, work, communicate, and engage. But I think in most cases, we know it's affecting everything, whether it's sectors specific. Quick timeline. And I want you to focus on the little numbers in between the 1 to 5. To set context, is that the first industrial revolution, this is not the only new technology. Steam was a technology, if you did not know about that. Took about 86 years to get to the next one, which was electricity. I think we still have a problem with that. Took about another 99 years to get into the digital age. And then when the digital age came, things started going very quickly. Into the fourth industrial revolution, which was augmented reality, ubiquitousness, cyber physical, things connecting, people with smartwatches. What I mean, it tells you how many steps you made today. But I think from 2022 is what we started getting a little bit worried, which is where we're increasingly calling this age the age of intelligence. And I think that's why today's theme on skilling becomes very important. I think the context for me then, it means that in this age of intelligence, it just means that it's just not about digitization or digitalization. It's very much around how we begin to learn, predict, and adapt. So those are the three things that we need to do. How do we need to do what? Learn, predict, and what?
I am Melissa Enoch, and that's it on News Now today. The show returns shortly with Grace at the FMDQ Archives Room with our Markets Round. Stick around. We are here at Africa Energy Week in 2025. First day of the event is booming everywhere. A lot of people, many stakeholders from the energy value chain.
We're here to promote the need for investments in a robust downstream sector to truly have energy security for the continent.
Welcome back to Money Moves. Let's now go over to Grace for today's markets updates. Hello there, Grace.
Thank you, Melissa. Let's take a look at how the markets traded today, starting off with the equities. In Nigeria, the NGX All-Share Index stumbled 5.01%, its lowest one-day fall in months. The BROVM edged up 0.29% to 336.91, while the Nairobi Securities Exchange slipped 0.83% to 188.96. In South Africa, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange rose 0.50%. And in North Africa, the EGX 30 closed on the negative, down 0.41%. Let's do a quick round on some of the Pan-African currencies. The rand eased 0.04% to 17.16, while the Egyptian pound inched down 0.09% to 47.21. The CFA franc weakened 0.51% and the naira gained 0.17% to 1,438 naira 37 kobo. The Kenyan shilling was steady at 129.20 and the Moroccan dirham edged up 0.08% to 9.28. Let's switch into the commodities data deck, beginning with energy prices. Brent crude rose 0.69% to $64.50, while WTI gained 0.62% to $60.50. Natural gas slipped 0.09% and RBOB gasoline advanced 0.66% as of 13:16 GMT. And finally, two metals prices. Gold firmed 0.51% to $4,142.90, and platinum gained 0.49%. Copper fell 0.73% to $5.06, while aluminium rose 0.11% as of 13:17 GMT. And that's our Money Moves markets today. Back to you, Melissa.
Thank you very much, Grace, for those market updates. And that's it on today's edition of Money Moves. From all of us here at the FMDQ studios, we say thank you very much for watching and bye for now.